Hi guys, this is Carmen. I always wanted to have a restaurant someday called Carmen's Comforts and Confections, even though my daughter says that sounds more like a bed and breakfast. But my granddaughters here have decided that we should have a little cooking show. That's their dream for this summer. And since I'm a teacher, I'm off for this summer. So we decided we were going to do a few comforts today. Our comfort food today is chicken and dumplings. My daughter's always asking me, Mom, how do you make these dumplings? So I'm going to show everybody how to make dumplings. If you walk with me, I'll show you. The first thing I did was I took 3 chicken breasts, because you can feed a lot of people with 3 chicken breasts, and I boiled them in this pot. After I was done, I added 4 of these chicken bouillon cubes to my water. I don't take any of the fat or meat out of that. I leave it there because it just tastes really good. Then after I took my meat out, my chicken out, I shredded it and set it aside. Because now we're going to worry about our dumplings. I've got my water still over there boiling. It's getting ready to come to a really good full boil. And for right now, what we're going to do is we're going to get us some self-rising flour. And we're going to put us a little bit down here, just a little bit to get my mat just a little bit ready. And then I never really use a recipe much. I don't use a recipe too much, but today I'm going to try to measure out what I would normally use so I can kind of give you guys an idea of what I'm using approximately. So I'm going to say I'm going to say 6 cups of flour. Jimmy, would you get me the milk? I'm going to use 6 cups of self-rising flour. You can use all-purpose flour, but then you're going to need to add some baking powder and some salt to that, and I'd just rather use the one that's already got everything in it. So we're going to use about 6 of these cups of self-rising flour. I'm just going to mix it up here. Forgot my... I like to take a whisk through my flour. If you're not going to sift it, now you can sift it all you want. I like to just take my whisk through it and put some air in it. Makes it just as good. But then I use a cup of butter. I use real butter, just like this, because I just think it tastes better. I think everything bakes better with it. And I did put it in the microwave just a little bit too long, so it's just a little bit runny right there. But you just want it soft, really. You just want it soft. And then I'm going to use my hands, and I did just wash my hands. So I'm going to mix this up into this flour, just like this with my hands. And you can use buttermilk for this. I don't have any buttermilk today, so we're going to use regular old 2% milk because that's what my family drinks. But I'm going to get this good and crumbly. So if you look in there, I got these little crumbs going. It's almost like you would do when you're getting ready for a pie mix, but a pie crust, but not the same. And then you're going to get a little bit off here because it's going. I'm a good cook, but I'm a messy cook. And then I'm going to start adding a little bit of milk at a time because I don't want it too stiff, but I don't want it too wet either. I want to be able to pat these things out. So I'm going to add me just a little bit and mix it in as I go. Trying to look over there at my water. It's boiling now. Still got a little ways to go on it. I like it when it's a real good boil. Starting to get there where I like it. Is that looking good, girls?
Yeah.
I think I need just a tiny bit more milk. There we go. Now I can get the every last little crumb because I do not like to waste anything. My mama taught me that you use what you got and you don't waste it, and thank the good Lord for it because we're happy to have it. So I'm just going to push down on my dough. Make sure it's got all those little pieces out of my bowl. All that good stuff right there. See how that dough's working up real nice, and I can hold it and it'll hold a shape. That's what you want. You want that right there. So I'm gonna get it off here, and I'm gonna take it off my hands. And if you can see in my bowl, I just have a few little crumbs right there, and I'm gonna leave those because I might use that to thicken up my broth later. So I'm gonna take my hands, I'll take a little bit of this flour I have on my mat, and then I'm gonna roll. And I'm gonna tell you right now, because I've got a short mat today, I'm gonna take it in half. I'm gonna half this. I'm gonna set it right here, and then this half, I'm gonna roll. And I like to roll a little and turn. Roll a little and turn. Roll from the middle to the outside. And then I'm gonna turn it until I can't turn it anymore, because I don't wanna go over my mat, even though I'm sure more of it will be on my floor than on my table later. But I do have more grandkids than I have fingers. So we have a big family here, and it takes a lot to feed this family sometimes. But we are messy, but we love it, don't we, Gemma? All right, and then I'm gonna take, I should already have it out, but I was going to use my cookie cutter, but I think I'm just going to use a knife, like my big trusty knife here. And I'm going to take these little pieces that I'm going to add to this one later, because I like them to look pretty. I don't know if you like pretty, but I do. Maybe it doesn't matter to most people. And then I'm just going to slice them. And you can slice them as wide as you want or as thin as you want. It doesn't matter. I'm going to slice them long ways, and then I'm going to come across them again. And these bigger ones I will make into smaller ones. And then once I've got that, I'm going to take some of these over to my water. And I'm going to drop them in. Just a 1 or 2, 3 at a time. Maybe more. I get a little impatient when I'm cooking sometimes. But if you did your dough right, your dough is not going to be sticky, and it's going to just come right off of this spatula into your water. And then if my camera guy, my son, comes over here with me, he can show you that these just got in the water, just did. If you look, they're already puffing up. Because I like a good puffy dumpling. My kids like those puffy dumplings. So now I'm going to come over here and work out the last of my dough. I'm going to add those little pieces I cut off. Just going to kind of shape it up again. Get it nice and nice little mound here. Give me a little bit more of that. Now I will say, sometimes if you put a little bit of extra flour on the top of there, it helps your broth thicken up a little bit. I feel like these already help it thicken up just a little bit. But it's all up to you. I mean, some people don't like a thick broth in their dumplings. My family does. We like to have some mashed potatoes with them, and oh Lord, we like comfort foods around here. And since I'm from the South, we eat a lot of chicken, fried chicken, mac and cheese, things like that, fried potatoes. And it all depends on what your family likes, really. Yeah, my son just said cornflake chicken. He loves cornflake chicken. It makes a mess to make also, but now these dumplings, I think I'm just going to hurry up and get them in. I don't want the others to cook too much longer than these. I probably won't make them as neat looking, but I'll just try to get them in there. My daughter Madison would say it doesn't matter what they look like, Mom, as long as they taste good. Now I'm going to get back up on my spatula. And I think I'm going to take a little bit of flour. Just, they're not sticky, but I just thought maybe if I put a little bit of flour on there, might help thicken up my broth just a little bit. So I'm going to take them over here, put them on this batch that I've already put in there. Now I know you guys are thinking, well, what about the chicken part? I'm going to put that chicken in after I get these dumplings good and cooked. And then I'll mix up that chicken with it. Now, if I had cooked a whole chicken, sometimes I'll cook a whole chicken with a skin on it, I wouldn't have used the chicken bouillon. I used a little bit of chicken bouillon because the chicken fat from the skin is really good. But since I didn't have the fat and I used breast meat, I needed to have that little extra flavor. Now, my daughter Megan is a vegetarian, and she doesn't eat meat. So when she's here and she wants dumplings, I'll either use chicken broth that is vegetarian, or I will use vegetable broth. And I just, in my opinion, it doesn't taste as great, but she's not eating with us today. So, if you want to come over here, I will tell you, when you're cooking dumplings, you should not stir them, okay? Don't stir your dumplings, not if they're like this. Maybe if you use all-purpose flour and you don't make them puffy like this, but with mine, we like them puffy. I just push down on them, push down on those dumplings and let that broth come to the top, and that's going to get them nice and cooked and even, and gives a little bit of that juice everywhere. If you see my broth's getting thicker. It's got that nice color to it, and look at that dumpling. You see how that dumpling's getting? Now, I would tell you that some people think they should put a lid on their dumplings. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that, because when you do that and then you start thinking about something else or working on something else, your pot overflows about 95% of the time. And I'm always trying to multitask and get things done. So I'm always working like that. So I don't put a lid on mine. I'll sit there and I'll let these dumplings cook for about 10 minutes. I'll let them cook for about 10 minutes. And after that, I will take my chicken and I will pour it onto my dumplings, and then I'll just mix it again. I'll just push down, mix it, and get them all good and mixed. When you pour these dumplings into a big serving bowl, they get mixed even better, and that's even, that's a great way to mix them. But if you look at my dumplings, they're turning out awfully good. This was a quick and easy way to do dumplings. It's a no-fail dumpling, really, that you can't mess up with these dumplings. You can use Crisco instead of your butter if you want to. I choose to use butter because I think it adds more flavor. But you can use whatever you have in your house. I don't, just because I don't use it doesn't mean you can't try it, because that's some of the best recipes come from when you're trying them on your own. I'm always a mess. But anyway, I hope that you guys like this easy dumpling recipe. I'm almost done right here. If I wanted to, I could put the chicken on now. But I think I'm going to let them cook just a little bit longer. Actually, I think I will add my chicken. So I'm going to take my chicken. I'm going to show you how to incorporate the chicken into the dumplings. Now, I've just shredded this chicken by hand. I didn't do anything fancy to it. I like to take out the, the gristly looking part and stuff. And now I'm just going to drop it on top of my dumplings, about half of it, and then I'm going to just push it under, just like I do my dumplings. Push it under. And I'm going to put the rest of it on here. Now, the only thing left to do is I need to add some salt and pepper. Now, remember, your chicken bouillon, it has a lot of salt in it, so you don't want to put too much salt in your dumplings. I know we eat too much salt in this family, but a little bit of salt and then a little bit of pepper always is a good thing to add. So I'm going to put a little bit of pepper. Jenna, you want to put the salt in it for me? Come on. It's over here. Here. I'll put some salt in it. That ought to work, don't you think? Good job. And then we're going to push that chicken down a little bit more, just so I can kind of show you what this broth is looking like now. I didn't have to add cornstarch. I didn't have to add cornstarch. I didn't have to add a flour slur or anything like that. I mean, look at these dumplings. You see those dumplings? Those are nice, cushy, fluffy dumplings. And my broth is just as creamy as you'd want it, really. As creamy as you'd want it. So I hope that you've enjoyed seeing us today in our kitchen, me and my grandbabies. And we hope to come back and maybe make some fudge with you later. Y'all have a blessed day.